I've been asked to demonstrate the RCD test function of the Robin KTS1630 Multifunction Tester. I'm going to switch on the tester. I'll bring on the backlight so I get a clearer picture. We're going to test a 30 milliamp RCD. We're going to test it at, to begin with, half its rated current, so we should be sending it 15 milliamps. And we're going to start with a rising half cycle of the mains, otherwise known as 0 degrees polarity. The mains is on, so I've got my 2 green LEDs and no red warning LED, so I can perform the test. So the test is complete. The mains has not tripped. I'm being shown a contact resistance of the RCD. This is not a real RCD. It's an electrical tester calibrator that I'm using as my voltage source. So therefore that resistance is higher than you would expect from a real RCD. The main thing we want to learn from our first test is that the mains has not tripped, which is correct. So we'll repeat the 15 milliamp test, that's half of 30. This time starting with a falling half cycle of the mains. Mains is still on, so I can continue with the tests. This is test number 2 of the 6 tests. So again, the test is completed. I'm being shown the contact resistance. The mains is still on. Now I'm going to select with the function up button a 1 times current, so 30 milliamps times 1 is 30 milliamps. Again, I'm going to start with a rising half cycle of the mains, and I'll perform the test. Okay, so the mains has now tripped. The recorded time 41.1 milliseconds. I shall bring the mains back on. Change to the 180 degrees or falling half cycle of the mains and perform the 4th of my 6 tests, tripping in 41.6 milliseconds. Well, the next test, as all you electricians out there will know, is the 5 times test. So to do that, I have to select with the function up button a 5 times trip current at 30 milliamps. Just have to select this on the calibrator. You wouldn't have to do that with a real RCD, but on the calibrator that I'm using, I have to tell it to expect a trip current of 150 milliamps. So we'll bring the mains back on. And again, because I'm using a calibrator which is set on a fixed trip time of 40 milliseconds, the result I will get will be a little bit unusual, because I'm choosing 0 degrees, starting with the rising half cycle. The result that I get is the same 40 milliseconds. This is because I'm on a calibrator. On a real RCD, you'd expect a much less figure, possibly about 17 milliseconds, something like that. So that's my 5th of the 6 tests. I shall bring the mains back on for the final time, and I shall do the 5 times 30 milliamp test with a negative polarity or falling half cycle of the mains, 180 degrees if you prefer, and we'll take our final result, which again is around 40 milliseconds because we're using an artificial source. If we wanted to do a ramp test, then we could use the function up button again to choose a ramp. I'll just have to set the calibrator back to expect a trip current of 30 milliamps. I shall bring the mains on. let's find out what current we actually need to trip our 30 milliamp RCD. I'll do it at 0 degrees, so we're back to 0 degrees. Begin the test. And the trip has happened within 412 milliseconds. That's not what we're interested in particularly. We want to find out what the actual trip current was. And to do that, we press the review button and we see that we actually tripped at 22 milliamps. Thank you for watching. Oh, one more thing. If we want to do all the 6 tests automatically, one press more up gives us the auto test function. With that, we could perform all 6 tests that I showed you earlier in a sequence automatically, and the results will be stored for review later. Thank you.